Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. Following the abduction of the over 280 pupils and teachers of government secondary school and LEA primary school at Kuriga, Kaduna State last Thursday, which was also immediately followed by the abduction of 15 students in Sokoto State. But most importantly is the abduction of over 280 pupils and teachers of government secondary school and LEA primary school at Kuriga, Kaduna State. This abduction in Kaduna State was reminiscent of the Chibok girls' abduction. As a result of this, the Tinubu administration has alleged that there is a conspiracy against his government. In other words, the heightened increase in students' abduction and insecurity, largely in the north, is interpreted by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a conspiracy against his government. Now, is it really true that there is a conspiracy against Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming from the north? This is because it was the north that largely voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if you believe the INEC results as being the true verdict of what Nigerians voted for on February 25, 2023. Because, like I keep pointing out, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was largely rejected in the southern Nigeria. So, is it possible that the same north that voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, or supposedly voted for him, are the ones conspiring to make his government ungovernable? What is really going on? Or are we dealing with a situation where Bola Ahmed Tinubu is incompetent to handle the issue of insecurity in Nigeria? That is what we're going to unravel in this video, to find out, is it possible that the North, which gave the bulk of their vote, the North, that, if you are to believe the INEC results, largely rejected two of their sons, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso of the NNPP and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, and voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu? That after voting for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are conspiring to make his government ungovernable? Or is it that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is incompetent to handle school abductions and all manners of insecurity that had been existing even before he became president, but for which he ought to know how to do it better? Because he said he had this desire to be president. It's his lifelong ambition. So it is a given that he was aware of the level of insecurity in the country before he presented himself to take over from President Muhammad Buhari in 2023. Now, let us see the mindset of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, we hear from Bola Ahmed Tinubu through his spokesperson, because on Sunday, the presidency described the recent cases of kidnapping across the country as efforts by the sub-regional geopolitical forces conspiring to undermine the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So they are saying that there are conspiracy, geopolitical forces, sub-regional geopolitical forces conspiring to undermine the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, made the allegation when he spoke on TVC's Politics on Sunday, anchored by Femi Akande. On the program titled Counting the Cost of President Tinubu's Reforms, Ngelale revealed that the federal government is already receiving support from the United States government for the release of students kidnapped in Kaduna. He said, and I quote, he said, "I will say this across the north." Listen very carefully. He said, "I will say this across the north. We understand that some of the sub-regional geopolitical forces that are currently at play are actively conspiring against the stability of Nigeria," said the presidential spokesman. Now, he is saying that it is from the north that this conspiracy is coming from. Now, and this is comment followed the kidnapping of over 280 pupils and teachers of government secondary school and early primary school in Kuriga, Kaduna State, as I said earlier on. So, you heard it from the horse's mouth that the North is leading the conspiracy against Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration to make it ungovernable. But is it really true that it is the North that is making his government ungovernable? Or is it a case of incompetence, that he don't know what to do, that he is clueless on how to handle the insecurity in the country, which anyone who knows the weight of the office of the president ought to know that one of the primary responsibility of the president as the chief security officer of the nation is to ensure the protection of lives and property. So is it a case of conspiracy from the North to undermine, to create instability for his administration, or is it a case of incompetence? And in any case, why would the North that produced Bola Ahmed Tinubu conspire against his government? What will be their gain? What will be the gain of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the North after putting him in power? That is, if you believe that the election that was done in 2023 was a reflection of the votes of Nigerians. So why would they not vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu? And after putting him in power, they are conspiring to destabilize the same Nigeria they help him to take over. Now, Ngelale affirmed that federal government is on top of the situation and has received support from the United States government to secure the release of the school children and address the regional forces at play. Now, what is playing out again is also similar to what played out during Jonathan's administration, during the Chibok girls' abduction. If you remember, at that time there were many people, including the Jonathan administration, who believed that there was a conspiracy, that it was a ploy to destabilize his government. the abduction of the Chibok girls. Now, it is from the same prison that Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his administration are looking at the recent abduction in Kaduna State. And what I found interesting is the idea that their confidence in rescuing these school children is in the United States, which also begs the question, what is the job of our security agencies if the presidency, if the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is hoping on the US to help to get the release of these school children and their teachers? Because as a nation and as an independent and sovereign nation, we ought to be talking about, the government ought to be talking about what they are doing, or that they have confidence that the security agents in Nigeria, from the DSS to the police to the army to the defense intelligence unit and all kinds of security architecture that we have in this country, that they are going to ensure that these children does not spend the Ramadan period in the bush with these bandits. But you can see that the government itself is hoping that America will help them to get these kids released, which is really strange. But this is official, coming from the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But that's another issue, by the way. But let us concentrate on the allegation by the Tinubu administration that the North, some conspirators in the North are creating instability in the system against Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Now let's go on and look at what Ngelale said, his quote again. He said, we understand that, and we are not sleeping. He's talking about what they are doing about the students that were abducted. He said, we understand that, and we are not sleeping. We are responding to it, and we are doing it. We are doing it in a concerted way with our neighbors. And it is worth noting that the United States government has also pledged its assistance to ensure there is a full return of all the school children who were kidnapped recently in Kaduna. But the point is, we are going to continue to intensify our collaboration, not just within the region, but internationally, to make sure that some of the regional actors that are conspiring against our nation are brought to justice and ultimately silence in the future, he explained. Now, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu therefore believe there are conspirators in the North who are working against the stability of Nigeria under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They have promised that they will deal with these forces. Now, interestingly, it is not only the presidency that is thinking in that light that these abductions, especially the recent one in Kaduna, which is similar to the abduction of the Chibok girls in 2014, that it is part of a conspiracy from the North that it is happening. Because Afenifere, the Pan-Yoruba socio-cultural organization, has also issued a statement where, if you look at the statement, it's also tilting towards the thinking that the instability, that there's a plot to destabilize Tinubu administration coming from the North. Now, in a statement that was issued by the publicity secretary and the assistant of Afenifere. Where you have Mogaji Boyega Adejimo, Mogaji Aboyega Adejumo. He is the publicity secretary of Afenifere, and his assistant Justice Faloye respectively claimed that since this democracy, now listening to them very carefully, the tone of their language, they say, since this democracy took off, this pattern remained constant, ever present. Create chaos, destabilize the government, embarrass the president, finally disgrace the president out of office. No president since 1999 has escaped this scourge, coming with the political Sharia against Obasanjo, the Niger Delta violent political agitation of Obasanjo and Yaradua, and cleverly solved by the DOO. The Boko Haram religion later turned political instrument to embarrass a sitting Southern Christian president, as it was with Jonathan, who was told to convert to Islam, followed by the kidnapping extraordinary of the Chibok girls type, the final shock that shocked Jonathan out of office. Now, what the Afenifere is saying in this is that there is a pattern to cause instability or causing stability in the country since 1999. They went on to talk about how during Obasanjo time that they brought political Sharia to destabilize his government. There was the instability that was created for him, and then which extended to Yaradua time, where instability was created from Niger Delta over agitation, which Afenifere said, luckily enough for Yaradua and Obasanjo, they handled it better and were able to manage the situation. And then he talked about the conspiracy that took place under Jonathan, where, according to Afenifere here, Jonathan was told to, if he wants to have stability, he should convert to Islam and all that. And at the end of the day, Afenifere say, they talk about the extraordinary abduction that took place, which was the final nail in the coffin of Jonathan administration, and he was literally booted out of office, with his tail between his legs. So they are saying they are in agreement with what the presidency is saying of the conspiracy coming from the north. Obviously, you can see the reference they made to Jonathan, that he was told to convert to Islam if you want to have instability and that kind of thing. It's in that statement. You can get it in all the papers. Okay, so it means that there is a thinking that what is going on, it is not because of the incompetency of Bola Ahmed Tinubu to handle the insecurity he inherited from the past administration, but rather a conspiracy against his government is ongoing. Is that really the case? Is this true? Is there a possibility that the North that supposedly voted for him is the same North that is working hard to destabilize his government, to destabilize the country? Can it really be true? We have had situations in this country where people used to look for scapegoats for what they cannot handle. Because this is not the first time we are hearing about this issue of conspiracy or the plot to make a government ungovernable. Several people said the same thing under Jonathan, that the insecurity, the Boko Haram and everything that was happening under Jonathan was sponsored to destabilize his government. That was the claim. At that time, it was very well believed by a lot of people that it was a conspiracy. But was it really a conspiracy against his government at that time when the Chibok girls were abducted? Is it because Jonathan was incompetent, or was it as a result of conspiracy? Remember, even President Bola Ahmed Tinubu now was among the people that carried placards on "Bring Back Our Girls" when Chibok girls was kidnapped. Bola Ahmed Tinubu obviously didn't believe the theory that his government was being destabilized deliberately. He believed that Jonathan was clueless. Now, why should we now believe Bola Ahmed Tinubu? As it is his turn now, he wants us to believe that it was conspiracy coming from the north that is fueling insecurity, or the kind of abduction of school children that we saw in Kaduna State. Why should we believe him now? Because during Jonathan's time, he didn't believe that Jonathan's the abduction of the Chibok girls was as a result of conspiracy against the administration. They saw it largely in the opposition then as Jonathan's incompetence to handle this insecurity in the country. And they were hammering on it. That was one of the selling points that they used to sell Buhari to Nigerians at that time, that Jonathan is clueless about insecurity, that Jonathan cannot handle insecurity, that a general like Muhammad Buhari has what it takes. In fact, they compared him to some American generals to show that he can handle insecurity better than Jonathan, because Buhari was a general. So he has the background to confront the insecurity. Of course, by the time Buhari left, insecurity got worse than he inherited from Jonathan, because under Buhari, 63,111 Nigerians were killed, on the average of 22 people being killed every day for 8 years under Buhari administration, which showed that he also was more incompetent than Jonathan in handling insecurity. So my take in this is that I do not believe his latest claim, or the claim of the administration, there is a conspiracy coming from the north to destabilize the country for him. I think just like he believed that Jonathan was incompetent in handling the insecurity at the time, that he, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has also exhibited incompetence in handling the insecurity, and that trying to look for scapegoat, who to blame for the insecurity, is defeatist. He ought to come out with strategy on how to handle insecurity and how to rescue these abducted children and bring them home to their families, who are obviously agitated right now, especially in this period of fasting, which is really very, very unfortunate for many families that were involved in this. So his job as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is to do everything within his power to get them home to their parents, and not to believe the conspiracy theories that he never believed when people are narrating this same tale during Jonathan administration. Okay, because it is always easy to talk about this issue that some other person is the problem. Of course, there are some utterances that people make that also draw attention to them. I remember at the run-up to the 2015 presidential election, Asare Dokubo, ex-Niger Delta militant, he was issuing threats that if Jonathan is not re-elected, that they will make the country ungovernable. Of course, Jonathan was defeated, and Buhari, who doesn't who has no time for that, they didn't make his government ungovernable. The only thing that put Buhari in trouble was when Buhari tried to stop amnesty program. Then the militants responded and started bombing pipelines, and before you know it, Nigerian economy went into recession. But it has basically nothing to do with that conspiracy that if Jonathan is defeated, the government, they will make the next government ungovernable. It didn't follow that pattern, but it was nepotistic policy of Buhari when he wanted to cancel the amnesty program that Yaradua put in place to douse the tension in the Niger Delta. That was when all hell broke loose, and the Niger Delta militants began to bomb pipelines, and Nigeria could not be able to export oil. That Buhari realized that it is not as easy as he thought it's going to be. But the truth remains that Tinubu administration should find a strategy to deal with the insecurity and not pass the buck to conspirators that they are to be blamed for insecurity, heightened insecurity, and the abduction, because this has become like an old woman's tale. Remember that even during the time of Jonathan, as I said earlier on, the North was also accused of conspiring against his government or making it ungovernable. Even Tanko Yakasa admitted in 2015 that one of the reasons why he backed Jonathan during that election was because the North was threatening that if Jonathan is re-elected, that they will make the country ungovernable. There are some northern leaders threatening like that. But even before that threat, there were those who believed that when Jonathan entered from 2011, when he was elected in that election, that already there were those who say if Jonathan did not respect the zoning arrangement of the country and step down for a northerner to take over after the death of Yaradua, that they are going to make the country ungovernable. And when there are problems of insecurity, bombings getting to Abuja and others at the Eagle Square, many interpreted it as conspirators or those who plan to destabilize the administration of Jonathan to make the country ungovernable. But at the end of the day, the buck stopped on the table of the president. I can tell you for free, President Olusegun Obasanjo, when he was president, is one man that faced whatever problem that comes his way in running the country squarely without passing it off as conspiracy from any part of the country. I think Tinubu should learn from him and face the problem of insecurity squarely and not blame the North that indeed helped him to get to power, if we are to believe the results from the Independent National Electoral Commission in the 2023 presidential election. Thank you for watching this video to this level. Thank you. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.